The White House says the United States will donate an additional $419 million in humanitarian aid to Syrian refugees. The money will help pay for emergency health care, safe drinking water, food, and shelter. The money will come through the U.S. Agency for International Development. Therefore, Congress won't have to approve the additional spending. Meantime, Secretary of State John Kerry announced yesterday the U.S. will also increase the total number of refugees it will admit each year. That would be 85,000 refugees next year and 100,000 the year after.
And while much of the world's attention has turned to the European migrant crisis, the plight of Iraqi Christians appears to have gotten lost in the shuffle.
Joining us today to talk about the latest on Chaldean refugees is local Chaldean spokesman Mark Arabo. Thank you for being here.
Sure.
Well, give us an update on what's happened. I know that the visas have been distributed, or they're about to be. Tell us about that.
Sure. We've been very vocal in saying that we're thankful for the visas. America is the best country in the world. But one thing we need to realize is we need to earmark a portion of these visas for the Christians and the Yazidis, because the Christians are getting lost in the shuffle, and the ones that are being able to come to America aren't the Christian refugees, they're the Muslim refugees, which we should save every refugee, but let's not forget about the Christians, the Yazidis, especially because there's 40 different Muslim countries, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and others, that should take refugees. America we can't save the world. We'll do our part, we'll lead, but let's save the Christians and Yazidis and press Saudi Arabia. They should do their part. They should accept Muslim refugees.
Chaldeans are among some of the many refugees suffering the worst atrocities from both Syria, the Assad regime, ISIS, what have you. Why has the Obama administration been so negative toward allowing them in and allowing the Muslim refugees in and not the Christian refugees?
One thing that's very clear is that Christianity is under attack, and the front lines are right here in America. The White House has been, and Washington in general, very anti-Christian. Right away when there's a Christian issue or a Christian persecution, they either turn a blind eye or they delay. We've been very vocal in pressing them for help for Christians, and we finally are able to get visas, but now that we're able to secure them, they're not earmarking a specific amount just for Christians and Yazidis. And all we're saying is give us our share as well.
So you want some of them earmarked for the Christians and Yazidis, and the Obama administration has said no, it's not fair, or why?
Right now they're saying they cannot discriminate based on religion, and our argument is it's not based on religion, it's based on human rights. You cannot be a Christian refugee in Saudi Arabia, but you could be a Muslim refugee in Saudi Arabia.
So you said 90% of the visas are going to Muslims? Is that what you...
Right now the processing as it's coming in, Christians get less than 10%. And we've seen from the past actions from ICE and other federal agencies that Christians are being targeted. They're not being allowed into this country, and we're not doing as much as we could or we should. We should save as many people as possible. We should lead the way. But other countries should step up. The Arab world should step up. Saudi Arabia, for example, Iran. These countries should take refugees as well.
Mark, I was astonished to learn that only 1% of the world's Christians now live in the Middle East. That's a land where their faith was actually born. What impact is that going to have on the future of the Middle East with only 1% now?
We know that Christianity and Christians are under attack throughout the world. And the Christians in Iraq, prior, they were the majority. This was their land in the very beginning. The Iraqi Christians are the oldest Christians in the world, descendants from Abraham, baptized by St. Thomas. And they've been wiped out systematically, year by year, decade by decade. And now less than 1% are there, and we're hoping that we can make the Constitution more inclusive. Right now, the Iraqi Constitution recognizes Sharia law as a law of the land. And whenever you put that in the Constitution, then you automatically get rid of any hope for any Christian. And so there's only a few countries throughout the world that a Christian has equal rights. And the leader of that pack is America. But our politicians in Washington don't care about Christians. Not only aren't they helping us, they're making it harder for us to survive, as if they want us to convert. which we're refusing to do so.
Turning a blind eye to the Christian plight right now, it sounds like.
We know you're working hard on this effort. Thank you for giving us the update today.
Thank you so much.
Mark Arabo.